0% financing on every Tempur-Pedic every day at every Sleep Outfitters. Starting at $34 per month. Buy now and make it an adjustable for the same monthly payment. 16 models to choose from. Available for immediate delivery at Sleep Outfitters.
Welcome back to the Tennessean's J-Mac Show, brought to you by Sleep Outfitters. We are here live at Acme Feed and Seed on the roof. You can see Nissan Stadium in the background here. So if you all are in the area, come on down to Broadway and see us live. If you're not, we are, of course, broadcasting on Tennessean.com and simulcasting on ESPN's 102.5 The Game. So we're coming back. We're going to look a little bit ahead now. We're going to talk a little bit about Cleveland. So what do you guys got over there?
Jessica, let's get some scoop.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Are you playing?
I'm prepared this time.
Are you playing Sunday?
I got to text Coach Wiz after this, and I'll let you know whatever he says he wants me to say. I'll have an answer for you.
Can you text him during the next
We got to
break?
keep our competitive advantage.
Boy, we are Belichick-esque tonight, aren't we?
Dev texted me when he found out I had my own show, and he was like, hey, I just got to give you a few tips. Keep your answers as short as possible, and don't give away any tips. So I'm just trying to learn from him.
It's a good move. So did you happen to hear, I don't know how many of you heard this earlier today, Merrill Hodge on ESPN, in anticipation that Johnny Manziel may be playing for a while, ripped the daylights out of him and basically said that yesterday he reverted back to his old Texas A&M ways, which were instincts only and not structure. When you see him, what do you see?
For us as a defense, when we watch him, obviously he had some turnovers in that game, some fumbles and an interception that was really costly. But at the same time, he threw a fade ball up the left sideline to Benjamin for a deep touchdown. We watched him get outside the pocket many times, making some nice moves. So for us as a defense, you look at that and you're saying this is a guy that when he gets in rhythm, he can beat you with his arm. And he's also a guy that when he gets out the pocket, he can really hurt you with his feet. So for us, you're just trying to plan for everything. You're trying to make sure you can keep him in the pocket, cover long enough for when he does get out the pocket. And, for those big guys up front, you get tired chasing that little guy around all game. So he definitely poses some different challenges of rather than a quarterback that'll just sit in the pocket and deliver a ball. So there's good and there's bad with everybody.
Right, during the break we were just talking about the importance of turnovers in every game, but against a guy like that where a play can break down at any time, and like you said, you're chasing him around, you're chasing the receivers around, how important is a turnover against someone like that? And when you pressure them, how much more likely are those to occur?
Oh, turnovers are huge, and like we were just saying, you have to take advantage of every opportunity. Like this past Sunday, Jameis on the first third down, he gives the ball and Cody's able to intercept it. When you drop an interception like that or you're not able to make the play, it hurts because everyone sees that opportunity. So when you're able to take advantage of things like that, it's huge for momentum, and guys all feed off that energy. And like you just said, going against a guy like Manziel who's able to hurt you, and also a younger quarterback, if you can get those opportunities early in the game, or he's able to get outside the pocket and he's a little careless with the ball, you're able to knock it away, that gets the defense going. It's also demoralizing for them on offense because you may feel like, oh, here it goes again, or we need to do better. Whatever it might be, whenever you can take advantage of those plays is huge.
It's a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. Especially when you can score on defense and the offense has to come right back out there after turning the ball over and you're hyped up and you're feeling good, it drains them and it builds you up so much.
Last night, Winston said, that first play, that was just, a foolish decision on his part, but you have to keep playing, you have to keep going. And a little while later, he said that interception killed them.
Oh, without a doubt. And just like for me at cornerback, when you're out there covering someone, if they beat you on a deep ball, you obviously got to forget about it and move on to the next play. But it also is a little bit in the back of your mind. You know it happened. And sometimes you may get a double move and they might not have thrown the ball your way, but you're still like, oh, man, he got me. And I know the offensive coordinator upstairs saw it. So you think about things like that. So getting an interception on your first pass, you put it behind you, but it still bothers you. You get another interception in the second quarter. Now it's really really ringing true. And the same thing happened when you watched Cleveland's game this past week with the Jets. You know, Manziel threw an interception, then he scrambled, had a fumble, then had another fumble. Things like that kind of add up, and it kind of knocks you down. So whenever your defense, you can get a team like that and get them rolling, you got to make sure you keep putting the pressure on.
Okay, here's one. I've been working on this one for a while.
Watch out.
John Gruden tonight during that telecast at some point will give it one of these Johnny Manziel. You know how he does that.
That's pretty good, George. I like that.
Yeah, who will simulate Johnny Manziel in practice?
Who will simulate him? Man, I guess we got Charlie Whitehurst. You know, we may have to knock a few years off him to see if he can scramble around a little bit like Johnny, but that may be the closest thing. We're not going to get Mariota out there practicing to be Johnny Manziel, so that's going to be the closest thing we have. Maybe Casey will get out there and simulate a little Manziel.
Did you watch him much in college?
A little bit, you know. I definitely watched him. He was all over SportsCenter with highlights and making plays, so I think all of us got a chance to watch him a little bit in college.
Coming out, because he's a hard one to project. A lot of these quarterbacks, you kind of say, okay, I know what I'm getting. With him, you just don't know. What did you think when he was in college?
He was a winner. He was able to win games and was able to make plays in clutch times for his team to put them ahead. And like you just said, with the offenses that a lot of college teams run now, it's hard to see how a quarterback is going to transfer to the NFL. Even when we drafted Marcus, a lot of people was like, well, Oregon ran this type of offense or that type of offense. What's he going to be like as an NFL quarterback? You don't know. It doesn't matter what position. It's just that quarterback position is so important. It's hard to transfer or see certain skill sets. So when he was coming out, for me watching, you're unsure. You see a shorter guy, and you're like, can he really be a quarterback? But then you watch Russell Wilson and Drew Brees do it as shorter quarterback, so you know it can be done. It's just a matter of once a guy gets here, how much work is he going to put in to continue to improve on his craft and get better each and every day.
You know, so much was made this past week about Dick LeBeau's defense, his outstanding record against rookie quarterbacks. We know how yesterday turned out. You've got Manziel playing next week, potentially. You know, I'm assuming that bodes well for the defense. What is it that you guys do different or special, if there is anything, against a young, inexperienced guy like that?
We just run our stuff. You know, it's been great having, we call him Dickie Bird around the room, but having him and Coach Horton both in that room has been huge. Just the amount of knowledge that they both possess, and having both of those guys talking to you and sharing their knowledge and their insight on the game has been huge. But, you know, each and every week we put our defense in. They throw everything at us in the offseason, and we have it all out there for us to run. And it's just a matter of what they call on any given Sunday. So for us, the most important thing is just getting to know Cleveland. And that started today with us putting this game behind us and going over it, watching the film, and then looking a little bit ahead of what Cleveland does. So when we come in on Wednesday, we're fully prepared and we know what they're going to do.
We don't know how much work he's going to get, but what's it like for a guy like Terrence West to go against his old team after, you know, being dealt for a conditional 7th-round pick just a couple of weeks ago?
Oh, I know he's going to be ready to go. And, you know, obviously as players, you got to say all the right things, and, you know, it's just about the team, and obviously, which it is, but I know he'll be ready to go, and he'll definitely want to win that game. We have a trainer that we got last year, Todd Torselli. He was in Tampa Bay for 17 years before he came and joined us in Tennessee, and winning that game yesterday in Tampa, I know it meant so much to him, and then to win it in the fashion we did. So it's a special thing when you're on a team, and like you just said, he was traded 3 weeks ago, so now to be back there and playing the game in Cleveland, I know it'll be big for him, and I know a lot of the guys will want to win that game for him as well.
It's a quick turnaround, man.
Yeah, quick turnaround. You said it, and that's kind of our lives. At any moment, you can be traded, released, and you have to pick up and move to a totally different city, find an apartment. It was funny leading into this first game once camp ended. I guess it was on a Wednesday or Thursday. Our player development guy came in and told all the guys that were staying at the hotel they had to move out or start paying for the hotel because the roster was finalized. So that fast it becomes real, and you got to go out, find your apartment, and now become an adult coming out of college.
Real lives, man. I don't think a lot of people really appreciate that or understand that, you know, players are people.
Yeah, definitely, especially once you have family and a wife and kids and you're moving around and the whole nine. My daughter's over there playing princesses, but you see how important it is and how big it is to try to establish yourself in one place and be there for kind of the duration of your career.
Jason, a year ago, and I realize we don't want to go too far back into it, but you all are sitting there at halftime with a big lead against Cleveland and not able to hold it. If you had been able to, how much differently would that season have turned out? I kind of thought, let me say this, I kind of thought that's where the whole thing bottomed out.
Yeah, definitely. You know, had we won that game, we probably would have been hoisting the Lombardi Trophy in February.
Good answer.
I'll go on record.
Nice.
I'll go on record for saying that. I mean, I can say it. Obviously, it didn't happen, so I can just say it's my own opinion. But, you know, that game was big. When you lose a game up that many points and everything was rolling in the first half, and for whatever reason, we obviously didn't do a good enough job in the second half on defense, allowing them to put up enough points to end up winning that game. And on offense, I don't think we scored any points in the second half. So together as a unit, we didn't finish a game. And I think obviously you said that it's a new year this year, but definitely for the guys that were here last year, you definitely remember that game and you kind of feel like you owe them one. But we know it'll be a totally different team, like you just said. I think we have 20 new players or whatever it is this year, so it will be a totally different game. But you still remember that, and it kind of lingers in the back of your mind.
So, I mean, how do you use that motivation? I mean, how do you channel that, and what do you do on the field with that?
I think that's kind of the same motivation as just going 2-14 last year. You realize how bad it was to go through what we went through last year. You realize how bad it was to go through that game last year. And I think that motivates you, even if it's to watch an extra game of film, an extra cut-up of film this week to get ready. Maybe it's doing an extra lift in the weight room or extra treatment, whatever it might be. I think it's a season like last year, a game like last year, what kind of pushes you a little bit over the edge to kind of over-prepare for every game that we have this year and make sure you're doing everything possible to get ready for that game on Sunday.
Just a reminder, we are broadcasting live here at Acme Feed and Seed. It's the Tennessean's J Mac Show. We are bringing back a special guest for our next segment. It's a guy who started the show with us last year as well, Jarrell Casey.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He's a veteran to our show.
Hopefully he brings better luck this year.
No pressure, Jarrell. You're all good. Give us a little tease about Jarrell.
Jarrell, man, I remember his rookie year when he got here. We called him Fatty Bread. I don't know where the nickname came from, but that's where everybody called him. But this guy was a running back.
I never called him that.
Yeah. I mean, for other people, I probably wouldn't call it to his face other than today because there's so many people around. He can't get me. But
there are cameras rolling too.
Exactly,
There's evidence.
Exactly.
Right.
But man, he was a running back in high school, and I remember, I guess it was his rookie year or his second year. We're playing the Saints, and he's rushing, and the running back runs to the flat, and for whatever reason, he just stopped his rush and was like, I'm going to go cover the running back, and stayed with the running back step for step, and actually almost intercepted the ball. But obviously, he's a D lineman, so they don't catch. But he was able to knock the ball down on a huge third down to give us a chance to win that game. And I tell him every game, and when he dominates, the defense follows. So he's just that type of player.
Well, that was a great tease. So we are going to be right back with Jarrell Casey at the J-Back Show, brought to you by Sleep Outfitters. Thanks.